And welcome back to Even More Asked Up, where one student asked two professors about all things pop culture. Hi, I'm Zach. Woohoo!
Hey, I'm Alan.
And I'm Patrick.
Yeah, and welcome to today's little bit specialty episode where I'm asking
flipping
questions.
the episode.
I would call it a very special episode of Even More Mashed Up.
I
Zach
like
probably
it.
doesn't get that reference, but you do, right? Mm-hmm. A very special episode? You know, like when Alf or whatever would do drug
Oh,
abuse.
okay. That's what I wasn't sure if you're talking about like one of our special
like
episodes
Family Ties
or
would
whatever.
have a runaway or whatever, you know? So
Gotcha.
Tonight, a very special episode of Family Ties.
Yes.
Alex
I do
does
like.
heroin.
I do like Even More Asked Up. I was trying
Wait,
to.
did you say
asked?
Okay.
Yeah. Asked.
I think you want to really hit the
I gotta
K
hit the
there.
K. I do.
I think what you said means very.
Because to be fair, compared to other shows, this probably is even less.
Yes. No, because Zach is actually prepared.
Yes.
And I'm going to guess that's at least a half a step ahead of us
We generally
at this
prepare.
point. Generally. But I think Zach is like a DJ at the turntable.
Yeah.
He's got questions from Ed.
Yes.
One of our most faithful.
Yes.
Questions from Hope.
If disillusioned.
Occasionally bitter
Yeah.
about the political bent, maybe, of the show. Questions from Hope.
Yep.
Big fan, obviously, of both of us, so I'm sure there'll be no snark there.
No.
And Zach has his own questions, too.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking when Zach asks the question, the first thing we should have to do is try to determine who asked it.
Oh, that sounds like could be
Just to have like an extra level to it. So
that we actually
this
do
is-
something in the show.
I feel like when we started the podcast years ago, we had one where the kids wrote questions of us.
We did that. I think in the
Just
past.
to let people get to know us a
Didn't
little
we
bit.
do one too where like when Kendra was new? Didn't we let Kendra ask us stuff?
We might have. We
yeah.
might have.
So we've done stuff like this before where we've let sort
Come
of
back
the,
every once in a while. It's like a trailer park.
Yeah, exactly. So every once in a while. So this is Zach's chance to ask everything you ever wanted to know from Alan and Patrick, but we're too afraid to ask.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think Zach's afraid to ask.
No.
He probably
No.
just was like, I doesn't really want to know.
Yeah, exactly.
Now
I
he
do
asked
want
it.
to know. What are you kidding? Of
That's
course
right.
I want to know.
All right, so then on to even more asked
Up.
Asked up. Make sure you
gotta
really
hit
stick
that K hard.
landing.
And we could do like tasked up later.
Yeah, you could. There's a lot of things you can
Masked up for
Yeah.
Halloween.
Oh, yeah, for superheroes.
do. Alrighty. Well, the first question we got coming in here is
Question number one.
how many Lego sets should a grown man own?
See, now that's...
That feels like
I,
hope.
I know that's an Ed question.
Really?
Well, Ed sent me 3 or 4 questions,
Oh, okay.
and I said, quit sending them to me. You're supposed to send them to Zach, whose number I gave you. So anyway...
That's an Ed question?
It's definitely an Ed question.
Okay.
And he's clearly trying to sow seeds of discord, because I'm supposed to say none. The answer is none.
Well, that's an answer. I'm not sure that's the answer.
Well, I'm supposed to say it's the answer. Then you're supposed to say 458.
No, I would,
And then we're supposed to argue about it.
No, because I would not put a number on it.
You sound angry already, and you shouldn't. You're just letting
It's
Ed
just
win.
it's just a
If you-
ridiculous question because there's no way
you-
to put a number
if you let the
on
anger-
how many Lego sets.
See, already, if you let the anger take over,
I'm not angry.
Ed has won.
Very chill. Trust me, you've seen me angry recently. This is not even close.
No, but I feel like you're ramping up already.
No.
So your argument is there should be no cap.
There is no cap. Legos are for everyone of all ages.
Right.
That's why they have the plus next to the 8.
So it's 8 to whatever.
We're 7 or 4. I don't get the.
Well,
I don't
whatever
get.
the
I don't
age
get.
is.
I don't get,
Age.
the, I don't get the 4+ sets because they're really kind of.
They're beneath you.
They're
Four
they're,
blocks.
they're really. They're yeah.
But when you get to the 8-year-old, you're like, okay, now this is challenging enough.
It's not so much the challenge.
I
It's just
gotta
the 8-year-old. They
I
generally
can
for the
sit down with
8-year-old
this,
they
but-
have like the sets that look like actual ships and things.
I'm sorry, you've never said that before.
8+.
But I love that's your divide. The 4, no way. Like
Yeah.
I'm above those.
4 is
8, no. I'm not,
4 is
that's what I'm gonna
barely
pick up.
beyond a Duplo set.
So
in my mind.
how many sets do you think you own?
I don't know.
You do. There's
No,
is zero
I do-
chance you have
I
not got
do
a
have-
cataloged list.
I have a catalog list of the ones I've built.
You don't catalog them until you buy it?
Correct.
Until you build them.
Correct.
Oh, okay. That's respectable.
Do you ever double buy then? Because like you forget that you've got one up in your attic?
I don't think I have, but I've come close a couple of times. It's getting to the point where I don't actually remember which ones I have.
So a couple follow-ups real quick, Zach. How many on your built list then?
That's the problem, because I just counted the other day. I can't remember. It was either... It's all in the spreadsheet, so I didn't have to count, but I think...
Right. One would only assume that it's on a spreadsheet.
It was either 250 or 350. I
That
can't
you
remember
built.
which one it was. That I've built, yes.
And those are all 8+.
Oh, some of them are well beyond that.
Right. Some of them are like 35-year-old plus.
No, they go to like 18 plus. That's as high as they
Okay.
go.
18's a weird number to pick.
Well, they're the adult Legos.
That's where they hit the...
That's at that point you're just considered an adult or an
Well,
awful.
are you?
an adult fan of Lego.
Are you actually considered an adult? So you got about 200 to 350 built.
At least, yeah. I want to say it was 350, but I don't remember.
Now, I've not been in the attic for a while, but I feel like I remember seeing a lot of boxes.
Oh, it's ridiculously well, and also I haven't really been piling them up nicely in the attic, so they've fallen over. So yeah, the attic's a disaster.
Do you ever think about like donating to like a animal recovery shelter?
Donating what?
Like some money. Like instead of saying I'm going to buy Legos this month, I'm going to feed a hungry child.
I mean, I'd like to think I'm feeding my inner child's hunger for Legos.
That's well put.
That's kind of a thing.
All right, so to answer Ed's question, the answer is somewhere between 0 and infinity.
It's fair.
Okay.
It is an integer.
Though it is slowing down now, because Lego is starting to get the point where they recycle certain sets.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are ones that I have. Like they're on like their third iteration of like the Emperor's Throne Room set, which I have one of those. They all kind of look the same, and I'm like, I don't need another one.
So it's kind of like Batman franchises.
Yeah, like getting to the point where I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying as many because they're doing a lot of redos. Like the big May the 4th set this year is a Ultimate Collector Series X-Wing fighter.
Okay.
I still have the last one they did from 2013 that I haven't built, so it feels like that's not really a priority.
Got it. Fair enough.
So I could take that several $100s that I would normally buy and, feed a child or something, but I'll probably just use it to buy more Legos.
Just feed your inner child.
Pretty much.
As long as you're taking care of a child somewhere, I think who could complain?
I do feed Leia. That's also like feeding a child.
Now, last time I mentioned Leia as a child, you were very upset about that, said it didn't count.
What? I don't think that's true.
No, it's true. We were at a meeting, and I said something about having kids. We should know each other's kids, and you said, well, that is just making fun of the childless.
Oh yeah, well, that's because you don't include Leia as child.
But I do.
I don't think you do.
Zach, we should move on. I feel like a rabbit hole.
So go into the next question.
The answer is infinity.
Or 0.
But
closer to infinity.
What is the most iconic period drama in cinematic history? Hint: I will hate you ardently if you answer incorrectly.
Okay, that's so much a hope question.
Oh, is that a hope question?
Oh, 100%. That's a hope question. She wants us to say Pride and Prejudice.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I have not seen Pride and Prejudice.
Wait, you don't like Pride and Prejudice?
I hate Pride and Prejudice.
The Keira Knightley version?
Any version.
Because Hope, I think, was feeling some kinship for you. Because I said that you were a Starstruck fan.
Downton Abbey, the movie, went hard. It was really good. I like that one.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Downton Abbey?
Yeah.
I will give you season 1, 2, or 3. But
The
once
movie.
it's on the movie is terrible.
It was so good.
Steaming piece of garbage.
Oh
It's so
my
clearly just
gosh.
something they threw together.
No.
Yeah. No.
Massive
Zach, you
cash
are.
grab.
Oh, yeah.
It was not a cash
The
grab.
old-
It
the old-
tied up
the
so
old
many loose
PBS.
ends.
Cash grab?
Downton Abbey.
It was a good
Question.
Kermit sitting in the boardroom.
For the purposes of this question, does something like Captain America: First Avenger count as a period?
100% it does not.
Okay.
I'm surprised you don't like Pride and Prejudice. So the Keira Knightley version is totally delightful.
It was very
Nothing wrong with that.
Very weird.
Nothing wrong with that.
I thought it was very odd.
Would Bridgerton count?
I would say it would.
I've not seen it, but
It's more. It's a show.
Bridgerton is
a show.
Yeah, Bridgerton is not that good.
I've not seen it. So.
I'm gonna have to cut you off there.
Wow. Zach has already lost interest in this episode.
That's right.
I'm tired of Alan's thoughts. Patrick, let's talk about Legos more.
That was the better topic.
That was a much better topic.
I'm not a huge period drama person.
Yeah, neither am I. Neither am I.
But I do like. I've seen Pride and Prejudice in whole or in pieces so often with Hope around.
Yeah,
I bet she's watched it 100 times.
Oh my lord,
that's too many times. That's
about
about 100 times too many.
They put it on and they just start quoting back and forth.
Do you ask her why she watches the same thing over and over again?
100% I do. Yes, sir.
So what you're saying is Pride and Prejudice is Hope's Age of Ultron.
Except it has quality.
Age of Ultron has quality.
No, you're just going back to the well for something just because you're an Avengers fan.
Yeah. Does the first Avengers movie count as a period?
No.
No, you got to go back to
it's set during a certain period.
Yeah, I think I'd answer Pride and Prejudice, but in part because I'm not a big.
Yeah, I can't really think of.
What was the other Jane Austen one they just did? Was it Emma?
Oh, you know what? I did like Emma.
Emma
I saw
was pretty good.
Yes, I have seen Emma.
Yeah, who
the
was Emma?
Gwyneth Paltrow version I saw back in the day.
I'm not thinking. No, so there was a more recent one.
Yes, there was. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, that one was
that
pretty good.
Was that the one with Dakota Johnson?
I don't remember.
She just did one recently.
I guess I don't remember it that well, do I? But yeah, so I would probably pick a Jane Austen thing, but that's totally because I've been around Hope.
I remember going to see
for
Emma
the last 10 years
in the theaters.
Yeah.
And sitting there and about halfway through. And I'm like, this is Clueless.
Okay, I think you got that back.
And I was like, well, this Clueless just ruined Emma for me.
Yeah, so Clueless is your favorite?
No, Emma. I did really like Emma. So yeah, I'll say Emma.
We should dig in. I thought you would go with like Gone with the Wind.
I've never seen Gone with the Wind.
I've only seen pieces of it too.
Yeah,
it feels wrong to watch it. Oh, that's something on Ed's bingo card right there.
Oh, there you go.
I imagine.
Yeah, possibly. So yeah, so I guess I'd say Emma because I can't really think of another period piece film.
Yeah. Like how old does it have to be a period piece, Zach? I don't really know. Like,
to be a period piece, I think it just has to be set in a certain time.
So Captain America, the First Avenger, would be a period piece.
So it's got to be before World War II? Like, does it have to be like 19th century?
So Wonder Woman, because that's World War I.
Oh, my gosh.
No, but that's still...
You said before World War II.
Oh, then I said the 20th century.
Oh.
So I said, like, I feel like the 19th century. Like, you have to go back at least to the 1800s.
You think so?
And that'd be fair.
For a period piece?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think we have to tell Hope we can't answer the question because we don't really have a definition.
I mean, if I'm going by a strict definition, then I think Emma counts.
Right. Otherwise, you're going to answer a superhero for
Possibly.
Yeah. All right.
But outside of that...
So I want to be clear to Hope. Pride and Prejudice is the
question.
best.
Does a Doctor Who episode in which they go back to like the 18th century count?
Does not. No.
Just one episode?
I give up. Gulliver's Travels?
Is that a period piece?
I don't know. Probably not.
It doesn't feel like it. Like a period, but isn't a period piece also grounded in realism? Like Frost Nixon.
Like Frost Nixon. I was going to say, is Frost Nixon a period piece?
If it is, that would be very high on my list. Yeah. What a great movie.
Yeah, it's a terrible movie.
It's a different... We're just doing the things they carried in class. It's the difference between happening truth and...
Happening truth.
And story truth. That's what we're looking at.
Story truth?
You're not a big fan of story truth, huh?
Not of story truth, no.
As a literary professor.
Actually, no, I'm big on... Yeah,
no. You just... All you
I'm not big on something masquerading as historical truth when it's actually story truth.
Have you read the things they carry?
So much. No, I'm talking about Frost Nixon.
I know, but have you read the things they carry?
It's been a while.
Because that's exactly
that's about the stuff they carry, right?
Yeah, good. But that's the whole conceit of the book.
Yeah. Well, it's a short story.
It's a book.
Before we get lost, let's...
Yeah, I'm talking about the novel.
Oh, I thought you just had them read the short story, not the whole book. I've never read the whole book. I've only read the short story.
All right, let's move on.
There's a lot going on there. All right. Which is more fun, the Flash quiz or the Riverdale quiz?
Oh, Flash quiz.
Oh, Riverdale is much better.
No.
Riverdale is substantially better.
No.
Yeah.
No.
The Riverdale quiz is well thought out.
No, it's not.
Creative.
No, it's not.
Funnier.
No, it's not.
Yeah, all of those points, it's better.
Because you know what the Riverdale quiz lacks?
What's that?
You talking yourself out of the right answer every single time.
Well, now I see what you're doing. You're trying to appeal to my ego.
Every single
to get me
time.
To change my vote.
Every single time.
So when are we gonna do this again?
Do what?
Well, you need to write the next Flash quiz.
That means I need to watch 2 seasons of Flash. I know. I'm behind.
Yeah.
So not for a while.
Okay, because I think Zach needs to participate in one of those.
You don't watch the Flash, do you?
I have seen some of the Flash,
but you haven't seen like the most recent couple of seasons. Okay, then
because the whole point of the quiz is you can't watch the show.
Exactly.
I have not. Besides, like, I got up to the ones where it was they started doing the crossover episodes between a lot of them, and I was like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah. Very tiresome after a while.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the whole point of those quizzes, Zach, is that we reveal to each other how ridiculously dumb both of those shows have become. But to me, Riverdale is doing it more intentionally, and thus you can laugh at it a little bit.
See, I don't
more,
know. Like, I think the Riverdale people, I don't know. They I don't know.
You don't think Griffins and Gargoyles?
Oh, no, that
you
was
don't think they didn't sit down and say, this is ridiculous.
I think nowadays they probably realized how ridiculous they are. But back in that day, I think they thought they were really brilliant and smart.
You always are going to argue against the Melrose principle, no matter what.
Yes. No. I'm saying they are now Melrose. They were not Melrose to begin with. And Griffins and Gargoyles was like season 2 or 3. That's very early on.
Yeah, and then well, yeah,
it went down like Griffins and Gargoyles.
But that's the Melrose principle. You hit peak absurdity, and then you can't sustain it.
But that's the thing. They're at peak absurdity. See, they did the reverse Melrose, which was they started with kind of like they can't sustain it, and now they're going for peak absurdity. with like all the demons
they
and stuff.
became...
And now like this next season, I guess, is set in the 50s somehow?
It became completely absurd, and then it became unsustainable. Then you get pocket universes and stuff.
Yeah,
but Griffins and Gargoyles,
can't deal with pocket universes.
That is peak stuff. Yeah.
No.
Oh, no, not you. No, sir.
Those time travel mechanics just really drive me nuts.
Yeah, we need a hypocrite button.
Yeah, we do.
Hypocrite.
Here's Kang.
Okay.
Next question here.
Nobody loves Kang.
What is the best Spider-Man in order? So we have Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland. How would you rank them?
Oh, boy. This feels like a hope question.
This feels like a hope question. I know Hope's answer is Tom Holland. And I would probably go Tom Holland. Oh, no, she likes Andrew Garfield, doesn't she?
I think she'd go Garfield first.
Yeah, she does really like Garfield. I like Garfield as an actor. Yeah. He did not have the best material to work with as Spider-Man.
But I thought he had the right personality for Peter Parker.
He's a little... See, I like Tom Holland just a smidge better than Garfield.
I would say Holland is my favorite.
Yeah.
But I think I would surprise you by saying that Garfield would be number 2 on my list.
No, it doesn't surprise me.
And Tobey Maguire, the original, would be the number 3.
Yeah, it's probably the same order for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you'd be more of a Maguire guy.
No, I like Maguire.
You're an originalist.
I do like Maguire, but yeah, they're that third film really took the shine off of Maguire.
That was not.
There's a bad.
Is that the one with Venom?
Yeah.
Yeah. That ending. Is...
Venom and Sandman, which
it
just drives. That still drives me nuts.
Yeah.
The whole thing where Sandman reappears, you're like, oh, I didn't want any bad stuff to happen. I'm like, you were a giant concrete monster pummeling someone with your fists. What do you mean you didn't want to hurt anybody?
You get so angry about that.
Oh, it's just such bad writing.
It's not a good. It's not.
So yeah, I mean, but yeah, Tom Holland.
But you could argue that none of the Garfield stuff is.
No, that's the problem. Is Garfield is not served very well by the script.
But he's still a better Spider-Man. The Maguire series is better than the Garfield series.
Yes.
But Garfield's better than Maguire.
Well, because Maguire's solid, and particularly the villains in the first 2 work really well. Doc Ock and Green Goblin.
Yeah.
With Defoe and oh god, I'm forgetting that plays Doc Ock. Oh, that's terrible. Alfred Molina. So Maguire isn't pulled down, whereas Garfield is kind of pulled down
by just a ridiculous plot.
You've got Lizard, who's not the most compelling of Spider-Man villains.
No.
And then you've got a really bad take on Electro.
Yeah.
And then not a great take on Green Goblin again.
Yeah.
So, like Garfield's great in the role. I just like Garfield as an actor, period.
I've heard it said that Tom Holland is the best Peter Parker, whereas Andrew Garfield is the best Spider-Man.
Yeah,
so I can see that. Combine the two.
I mean, Holland is closest to the original Peter Parker in terms of like being a kid.
I'd reverse it. I think I really liked Garfield as Peter Parker.
Really?
Yeah. He had the right vibe.
He was a little cocky for me.
He's the only one of the Spider-Man that sort of has that classic version that would like quip at the villains while he's fighting them.
Yeah.
None of the other ones really have that. So in that sense, he's as an originalist that I've been accused of being.
You are 100% an original.
That's not true.
What do you like better the second time through?
Return of the Jedi is my favorite Star Wars.
That's not a remake of Return of the Jedi, though.
Well. Oh, so you mean like an actual remake?
Yeah.
This Captain America is better than the previous one.
Okay, that's a fair point.
The one from the 1980s, played by J.D. Salinger's like nephew or son or whatever it was.
That was a bad one.
That's a better one. That's a better one.
So we actually agree on Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think we do.
Which surprises me.
Yeah.
Huh.
And that question was actually from Ed.
Really?
Wow. It's not from Hope.
Oh, that seems
Hope
like
is a big Garfield.
She is. She's asked that question. I think she's asked us that question before. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good question from Ed.
It is a good question. It's actually a thoughtful, pop culture focused question.
It is. Well done, Ed.
Yeah, it says something meant to sow discord between us.
Yeah. Maybe he thought it was going to.
Yeah.
And failed.
So if you add 0 to infinity and you average that would be the number of Lego sets a person could have.
That's still infinity.
You can't define infinity, can you? Right, is the problem.
It's undefinable.
Except anything defined by 0 you can't divide by 0, right?
Yes.
You cannot.
But
that's what I love about 0.
Dividing and defining are two different things.
That's true. Right. All right, let's move on.
All right. This one's a little bit more of like your guys' pure takes on it. Less of a funny point, but does representation matter in a comedy if the film or show just isn't funny? That's right. I'm talking about Velma.
So does representation matter if it's just not funny?
Matter in a comedy, I think it said specifically.
Yep. So this is clearly inspired by Ed's hatred for Abbott Elementary. Because we spent all of our time talking about representation
might be where we lost Ed.
And issues of I think it's where Ed felt like we had just punched him in the neck with a that feel good liberalism for which this show is so infamously known. And he was upset because he said the problem is that it's just not funny. I don't think we should celebrate comedies as terrific accomplishments if they're not funny. That seems fair. How do you feel about representation? Like, representation is not enough to save it.
Well, I mean, that would clearly be the case. Well, I mean, I haven't watched Velma, but I've seen like the internet sort of commentary on it.
I've not seen Velma.
Everything I've read says it's pretty awful.
Yeah.
And that even when it comes to representation, it's not doing a great job because it actually falls into a lot of problematic stereotypes and doesn't really seem to be interrogating them in a way so much as just replicating them.
But what if Ed's question were rephrased to you and he said, if it's not funny, but the representation is well done? So you kind of give yourself the back door out there by saying,
well, that's the Abbott. Well, but see, that's the Abbott. He would say that's Abbott Elementary.
Right.
Representation well done, but the show's not funny.
Yeah, I don't think the show's not funny. I just don't think the show is super funny.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's
somewhere.
I think it's somewhat of it's in that sort of documentary style, like The Office and Parks and Recs and things like that.
I love that style.
But I think in some ways,
nothing wrong with the.
I think in some ways that it might be veering. I mean, obviously, Parks and Rec and The Office in that style are still very broadly drawn comedies in terms of you've got characters that are kind of ridiculous, like Michael Scott.
Right.
Whereas Abbott Elementary, I guess you do have the principal.
You have the principal.
But the others are fairly realistically drawn characters, and so it's not
to an extent, yeah.
And so I just wonder if it's not as funny because it's just the nature of those kinds of shows are less about the kind of comedy that we're used to.
I guess. I mean, to me, one of my complaints with Abbott was it felt very Office modeled.
Yeah, well, it's hard. I mean, everything that's in that documentary style now is kind of compared to Office.
There's a clear Jim and Pam kind of...
Yeah, there is.
Echo. Yeah. So, I guess, I feel like the best I could answer Ed's question would be to say, I think it's important to talk about representation in sitcoms, even if they're not funny. I mean, I actually do think representation, like conversations about representation matter. But we can also talk about whether stuff is funny or not. And apparently that's where we fell down on Abbott.
I guess, yeah.
But he finds it completely humorless. I didn't find it, like, devoid of
I didn't
humor.
Find it completely humorless, but it's not the laugh riot that you might be expecting from a sitcom. The humor is very kind of muted, I guess.
Right, but a sitcom doesn't have to be a laugh riot.
I know, but I think that in terms of
yeah, I'm just saying that doesn't make it not a sitcom.
No,
or even not successful.
Right. Well, yeah.
Although I have not gone back to the next season. Have you?
I have not. No.
Maybe Ed was on to something there. Maybe we'll have to check back in.
Oh, I did watch the first episode of Lucky Hank.
Oh, how'd that go? Can you give me your password so I can watch it?
I think my favorite part, so the premise is that the professor guy, he makes a comment.
He's an English professor, right?
Yes, he's the chair of the department.
Okay.
Makes a comment that gets in the school newspaper, and so there's a vote to remove him as chair, which he gets removed as chair.
Okay.
And
so
then
it's a happy story.
So just wait. Oh. And he has the appropriate reaction to getting removed because he walks out and he's smiling.
Yeah, good. Good. So they understand us.
So then after they vote him out, people are like, well, now who's chair? And they're like, oh, we have to vote on that.
Yeah.
And so they do that the next day. And so they all vote for themselves, except the one person who, in throwing his vote away, voted for the guy that was ousted, as did Hank. And so he was reinstated as chair for a brand new 3-year term. And I was like,
oh my God,
I knew that was exactly. I'm like, someone's voting for him. He's voting for himself. He's easily getting back in there.
Man, that is just, it rings so true.
Yeah, and I mean the whole premise. Yeah, he basically in and he's teaching a creative writing class, and he's ranting about the students' work that's just terrible, and basically talks about it's Railton College where he's at, as the hub of mediocrity. And I was like, ouch, that sounds familiar.
Hub of mediocrity.
So
wow. So I need to catch this. It seems like something I ought.
Yeah, it's.
So anyway,
yeah,
maybe we owe Ed a minor apology. We should have mentioned that. I guess we should have rated the humor.
I guess.
I'm sure that'll mean a lot to Ed.
Yeah.
We should move on to the next one.
All right.
Yes.
Next one is the reason, quote, all things pop culture doesn't include music because Rat isn't touring and Hall & Oates broke up.
Okay, they didn't break up. They're still around. They still get together.
I feel like that's our first Zach question. What do you think?
I don't know. That kind of had an Ed edge to it.
Does Ed know Rat? That feels like.
Does Zach know Rat?
You don't. Oh, it's. I'm going to go. I'm going to say Ed. I'm going to say this is an Ed question.
You think the Rat reference is more Zach?
Yeah, like hair metal has to have gone through like a renaissance.
Also, that question just seems like really targeted at us in a way that has to be either Ed or Hope, and not so much Zach.
It was Ed.
Yeah. So, I feel like we could do more music.
We could,
but I don't know how. Like, we may not be tuned in enough.
That's the problem. Is I don't
and
think
that's kind of Ed's question.
Yeah, I mean,
that might not be.
Music is not our wheelhouse. Unfortunately,
like Taylor Swift tickets going out. Like, really quick.
Well, we used to talk about Taylor Swift a lot, and then frankly, it got uncomfortable.
Okay, that's not fair.
Somebody was a really, really big fan of Taylor Swift.
Oh, somebody was a Swiftie?
Not sure why you say that in a past tense.
So, are you going to go to see the show when she dives into the floor?
I don't have that kind of money.
If I see that one more time on TikTok, like it's really not that interesting. But anyway, so we did once upon a time we did talk.
Yeah,
like a little bit of music.
Yeah,
we do musicals.
We
do movies with music.
Yes.
So it's not as if music is absent.
Yeah.
From the show. I have to say, Rat's not really. I'm not a huge fan of Rat.
I thought you liked Rat.
I'll listen to a Rat song if it comes on the radio, but I don't.
So Round and Round.
Well, sometimes
I'll
play dance on.
Really? Okay.
On Hair Nation.
Oh, okay.
Like you get like a little better rounded.
Okay, I'm gonna say like
Rat. Like Wanted Man. You don't get that a lot anymore.
I do like Round and Round though.
Of course you do. So you know Wanted Man that begins with the acoustic guitar, one of the first, I think hair metal songs.
I know
that
start
with the acoustic.
I have a vague recollection of a second Rat song that I'm familiar with, but I can't remember what it is. Maybe it was Wanted Man.
Well, Wanted Man might have come earlier.
Oh no, it would definitely be post Round and Round.
So
then
what would have come after Round?
I don't know. For some reason, I think there was like another Rat song.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I've seen Rat in concert. It's the first time I saw somebody throw up. At a concert.
Someone on stage or someone in the audience?
No, it was in the audience.
Okay.
We were at the Blossom Amphitheater, which was an outdoor venue that had some like covering at the front, but we were on the lawn section, and a mom had brought her daughter, who looked to be about like 12 or 13. And she was vomiting, and it was
the mom or the daughter?
The daughter.
Okay.
And the mom was like being like super comforting, but it just felt weird still. And especially because like the color of the puke was almost
okay.
Let's
we don't need
question.
Yeah, we don't need.
We don't need. And then it kind of rolled down the hill through the blades of grass.
I'd like to suggest another reason we don't talk about music.
There
it brings up Alan's puke reminiscences.
Yeah. We should do a show where we talk about our favorite concert experiences.
I've only been to like 3.
Maybe that's why we don't talk about it.
I've been to.
You've never been to a concert?
Really, Zach? That's surprising.
Live music is like the greatest thing in the world.
I've technically been to one. Technically been to like one.
Well, so I don't understand.
It was when I was younger. I don't really remember it.
He was walking by the Wilkes-Barre Riverfront during Summerfest.
Other than that, I really don't go to concerts.
Yeah, see, I don't either. See, Zach is a man like me. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess that answers Ed's question.
Because why would I pay money?
If I were in charge of the show, we'd probably do music more often.
All right, next question here.
I'm just gonna let that one.
I've seen Laura Branigan in concert. Like I've seen
Kenny Loggins.
I've seen the Kenny Loggins,
which is basically like Laura Branigan adjacent.
Yeah, right in the danger zone.
God. It's during his Pooh Corner era.
All right, and next one here.
I'm telling you.
What is the lamest fashion trend that you ever adopted? Think back to the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
And I know this is.
Remember, we've all seen pictures of Alan with a mullet.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know that this is going towards the mullet. I stand by that mullet.
You do stand by. You
I don't know if you've ever seen the
mullet.
picture.
I have not seen the picture.
I'll get the picture to you.
It is a.
I keep it in my nightstand.
The only regret I have about the mullet is every time it comes up, Patrick says that.
I keep it in my nightstand.
It actually gets creepier.
It's kind of what I love about the mullet the most.
Every time you say it, it gets a little bit creepier. So, hey,
at least I didn't say I take it out and kiss it before I go to bed.
Yeah,
all right.
It's 1-to-1. You had puke down the hill.
Okay. Frankly, I think the bright pink puke down the hill is way less offensive.
Yeah. Nah, we don't know.
Anyway, so I stand by the mullet. It was the 80s. Mullets were perfectly acceptable.
Yeah, they were.
I had one that was...
Is it late 80s?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a rockin' mullet. I played soccer, and a lot of soccer players at that time had mullets. So it was kind of like me following the crowd a little bit.
Now they're coming back.
I stand by it, I didn't wear... That's true. I see them in my class every once in a while, and I think, go you.
But now they got the half mullet where it's like the shaved sides, full mullet.
Really tight. I'm not going to name any names, but there's somebody in my environmental history class who recently got a haircut.
Okay.
Always is wearing a hat, but looks like the really high tight mullet. So we'll see if he mentions this.
Yeah.
I have a feeling he might. So I stand by the mullet. I never really got into parachute pants.
No.
Gosh, There is a picture of me on an Easter morning where I'm wearing a polyester leisure suit, but that was something my parents picked out for me.
Yeah, that's
I don't know that that's.
I mean, how old were you in that?
I was probably 8 or 9. Okay.
How does that compare to the suits you bought this weekend? Is it similar? Because those suits would be your fault.
No, the suits I bought this weekend are very nice. Okay. They're perfectly normal suits. Okay, I've learned my lesson.
Okay.
So, what's your biggest fashion?
Well, it's hard to say because I'm pretty much on point when it comes to fashion.
I feel like didn't you go through a Miami Vice?
Yeah, that's what I was going to go with.
I had sleeves rolled up on the jacket.
No, I had the jacket that had it was blue. It was a white jacket, and then the interior was sort of blue and white striped, very pale blue.
Yes, yeah, like a very Molly Ringwald.
I would wear that. I would wear that. I don't think I wore a T-shirt underneath. I don't remember what I wore underneath it, but I don't think I wore.
Please tell me you didn't wear anything underneath it.
No, I definitely wore something. Yeah, no, I definitely wore something under the jacket.
So kind of like a James Spader.
Yes, that is probably much
like that. Preppy,
it's probably
kind of everybody hates you.
Yeah,
kind of vibe.
Yeah, which is a weird look because I was a drama person, so that wasn't it was a weird look for me.
That was kind of a try hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Moment for you.
So, but that was easily.
When you did it, did you imagine in your head? Were you Crockett or Tubbs?
Oh, I was different. I don't think I really thought of it as Miami Vice-y, but at the time. But in retrospect, it was very. Which I don't think I've ever watched Miami Vice, but it's very Miami Vice-y.
Yeah.
But that's probably easily the worst look I've had.
I had a lot of bad
beyond just my general, Bert fashion that I have these days, or Bert / Ernie.
I got to be honest. If I had to pick,
Waldo.
Yeah. If I had to pick, I should probably pick nowadays. My students are relentless in mocking me.
You mean your T-shirt and flannel?
If that's what I'm wearing that day. I told them I got 4 shirts. Get used to it. It's going to be a heavy rotation. You're going to see the same stuff.
I got 4 shirts.
Back to back to back.
That's it.
And that's it.
That's right.
T-shirt and a flannel, T-shirt and a flannel, T-shirt and a flannel, and a hooker.
That'll be my motto. So maybe it's I might be living it right now. A couple of years ago, I went to class and they said I looked just like Arthur.
Oh yeah, the aardvark.
So I
that's
continue.
Right. They did
the aardvark.
They did call you Arthur.
We both get a lot of cartoon, children's programming.
Yeah,
kind of references.
Yeah,
probably not good.
Yeah,
that was good. I'd like to think I'm better than fashion. I don't spend my time worried about it.
Mm-hmm. Whatever helps you sleep at night. Because you know what helps me sleep at night.
Legos?
No, what's in my nightstand?
Oh, God.
Could it just be Legos, please?
Could it just be Legos? Alrighty.
So, but no, the first thing I went to was the jacket. I can't really think of any other, fashion-y trend I adopted.
What about the Bluebird costume for stage would have been?
Oh, that wasn't my choice. Yeah, but that wasn't my choice either. I was in theater.
Yeah. I did wear some suits that were pretty ugly. Really big-shouldered.
Yeah.
Like a lot of like MC Hammer like width in the pants.
But not parachute pants.
No, because
you just said you.
No,
okay.
but they were
so more like
too much fabric
Talking
like,
Heads.
Yeah,
kind of look.
Think like early 2000s NBA draft.
Little
right,
David,
right.
Little
Which I never would have wanted. Like I never would have been like I love the Talking Heads and I want to look like that guy.
Right. Yeah.
But if you look back at some of those pictures, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know if I have pictures of me in the jacket. I'll have to see if I can track those down.
Oh, I have this picture of me as a baby where I'm wearing like this like tracksuit with the hat that matches. It's like this like
Sweet.
It's like this like yellow and blue. I look good.
Yeah.
I look good.
Yeah. The good old days.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty. What is a pop culture trend among your students today that you just don't understand?
All of them.
That's fairly accurate. Like almost anything on TikTok.
Yeah. I mean, I do enjoy the TikTok.
Oh, I do the talk, but I think I've got a weird... I do the talk.
Yeah,
what?
Don't say do the talk.
You do the talks?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he doesn't do them. He watches them.
I don't think I could make a good TikTok.
If I were to make one, I'd make one with like stop motion Lego minifigures.
Oh, that would be pretty...
I feel like that's my best shot.
You should do it. You should do a day in the life.
Off that.
Every day, you just do one scene from here at work.
Jeez. That requires... I would have to build like
a
Lego Misericordia.
That would be awesome. Yeah. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like my Instagram account.
Yeah.
I think I've done pictures for like 2,200 days in a row.
Yeah.
I think there's only one or two that I'm actually in.
I
don't like to take pictures of myself. I don't like to be in pictures. I don't want to be on film. I like to just quietly sit off to the side.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of wonder with the whole TikTok thing if it's like just everyone now trying to like get their 15 minutes of fame and hopefully make their money.
So now we just want to be really the old man show.
Pretty much.
No, these kids.
Pretty sure we just made Miami Vice references in the last segment, so I'm pretty sure, and Rat. So I'm pretty sure.
Well, Rat was forced upon us.
That was a question.
I'm pretty sure the old man show.
That's a fair point.
It's really what we should call it. Welcome to Even More Old Men.
Like grumpy old men.
Yeah.
I wonder if we could. That might be hard to.
Yes, we could
get the copyright.
Possibly.
But yeah.
Even more grumped up.
It's pretty good.
There's pop culture today.
That's right.
It's all time travel and multiverses.
Okay. That's garbage stuff. Garbage.
I know, that was my impersonation.
I know. I got it.
That was your
I
own
got
man.
it. I got it.
I don't like it.
Yeah. It's a good thing you don't sound whiny.
Get off my lawn.
Oh. I still think Bobby should have made that meme that I came up with all those years ago.
Which one was? Oh, what is it?
It's a millennial.
Right. I remember that.
Standing on a porch, shaking their hands at a bunch of kids on the lawn.
Yeah.
And the millennial is yelling, "Hey, you kids, get off my parents' lawn."
That's it, parents' lawn. I couldn't remember what it was.
It's never going to move out.
Yes. I couldn't remember what it was. I was like, I know.
Good, right?
It is good. No, it is good. That is a quality one. Yes.
Thank you. That's really good. Yeah. If anybody listening can make that a meme, I'd be super happy.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Bobby should be able to make that a meme.
They put a little effort into it, but it never really got anywhere.
Okay. I could probably do it with Legos.
Yeah. That'd be a good one. It could work. Stop motion. Hey, you kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would work.
Could work. Get off my parents' lawn.
Yeah, get off. I couldn't remember what. Yeah, no, I do remember. I couldn't remember what it was, but I do remember it was good.
Yeah,
get off my parents' lawn.
If I were a meme creator,
I think you are. You just created a meme.
That's what I would. Well, I think to create the meme, you actually have to have something physical.
Well, that's true.
Right.
You've got the idea for the meme.
Right. Yes.
Alrighty.
I'm more of an idea man anyway. Yeah.
The next one we got here. What is your favorite cozy TV show? Ones that you can think of are like All Creatures Great and Small, Ted Lasso, Great British Bake Off. Oh my gosh, I cannot say that. Great British Bake Off.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tougher than you would think. So comfort television. So, like mine shifts probably, but Ted Lasso. Oh, the third season, I don't think they've got it quite emotionally right in terms of tone. Like, I don't think it's quite as good as the first two, but the first two, just to me, it's a sitcom that you've not watched it because you don't have Apple.
I don't have the Apple TV. Maybe if someone shared their password.
But it is. I would be happy to do that with you. It's because I remember one of your big complaints about What We Do in the Shadows. You're like, I just don't like the characters. Like, they're not likable. They do terrible things.
Except for Guillermo. I do like Guillermo.
Gizmo, yeah. So, but you would love Ted Lasso because, except for one character, really, the show is whenever you think it's going to take that dramatic kind of awful turn, it doesn't. It is totally subversive in its niceness, and yet still funny. It's just it's. I think it's brilliantly done. So like, if you're in a bad mood, Ted Lasso is great to go to. But I'm also like very cynical and pessimistic about stuff. So I can put on the Creepy Paper episode of What We Do in the Shadows and always feel comforted.
Creepy Paper.
Yeah, I just like comfort for me is laughing. So I was just rewatching Hail Caesar, the Coen Brothers movie.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Okay.
It's so funny. It's so funny. Like, so my comfort is funny. Ted Lasso's a good choice. A really good choice.
Yeah, I'm trying to think over my like DVD collection of stuff. I'd probably go Scrubs.
Not Hawkeye?
See, I assume your answer would be just turn on TNT and watch whatever
I'm trying
stuff they were shoving down your throat.
I'm trying not to just do superhero stuff.
So you're going to answer inauthentically.
No, because I love
but
Scrubs.
with diversity.
Scrubs is one of my favorite shows. I could just sit down and watch, like, particularly like seasons 1 through 5. Like I could just do a marathon of all of that.
Yeah.
I really like Scrubs.
See, I could do that with The Office. I could do that with Parks and Rec.
Yeah. I could do that with Community too, I think.
I could do it with Community too, I think, as well.
Yeah. But yeah, probably Scrubs would probably be...
Yeah.
I mean, Scrubs is not my favorite show, but I really do... I could watch, like, a lot of Scrubs, like, just kind of in a row.
If I'm waiting for Vicky to get home and I just flip on the TV, and we don't have cable, so it's just whatever comes over, the regular channels. But, like, they'll have a Family Ties on or whatever. I'll sit and watch a Family Ties.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm not sure it's comfort, but, it's not the very special episode.
Yeah.
So, but Ted Lasso is a good
that's a
good pick. Is a good choice.
Or Game of Thrones. I find that very relaxing.
I did until what they did to Will. Then I couldn't.
So you
I
lasted
couldn't
5 minutes.
About 5 minutes. Yeah, that's about what that show was worth. It made its political point in the first 5 minutes. The rest of it was just fluff.
I regret bringing it up.
We should talk about Game of Thrones more often.
Well, no, we shouldn't, because you really have 1 point to make about it, and that's about it.
No, there was a coffee cup.
I got 1 point.
There's Will,
and that's it.
No, there's a coffee
Will
cup.
Will is great, and Hooker, which actually is pretty close to Game of Thrones, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
That
pretty much sums up the plot.
It kind of does. Yeah.
I guess we should move up to the next one then.
Yep. If you could make a movie and decided everything in it, from the characters to the plot to everything, what would you do?
Ooh. See, I used to have an answer for this, but then they made my movie.
White Noise.
Yeah.
And it was disappointing. Would you remake it?
I don't think I could.
Would you go and say, Baumbach, like, here's how you actually do it right?
Well, because there's a couple reasons. Number one is, back when I was first thinking about, like, I would do a White Noise movie.
Yeah.
Like, I know the exact perfect actor.
Who's that?
To play Jack Gladney.
Okay.
It's not one that we can use today.
Okay.
Because it's Kevin Spacey. He would have been
a
great Jack Gladney, but...
Was he working with Bill Cosby?
No.
Have you ever seen Between Two Ferns?
Oh, yeah. I think
it's interviewing John Hamm. It's like, Don Draper's jacket's in the Smithsonian or whatever. And he's like, yeah, I'm very proud of it. He's like, yeah, right next to the Cosby suite.
I think I have seen that. I've seen like clips of Between Two Ferns. I like the one where he's talking to Paul Rudd and he's like, what advice would you give to a Jewish boy on how to hide his Jewishness as well as you?
The show is brutally funny. Right. So I totally see, like, 20 years ago, Kevin Spacey. You'd be like,
exactly.
He would be like perfect for that role.
Well, and also because of American Beauty, which is basically, it has a lot of similarities with White Noise.
Yes.
So White Noise would have been.
Okay.
Now,
now you're moving on, though.
Now,
you don't want to make White Noise.
If I'm moving on, I think the next one that I think could be interesting to make.
Yes.
Would be Pynchon's Crying of Lot 49.
Interesting.
That would be a fun one, I think, to do.
I thought you might go for the Underground Railroad.
Well, they just did a miniseries of that.
Oh, that's right. They did, didn't they? So you can't do that one.
Yeah.
Nickel Boys, like, you wouldn't go Colson Whitehead?
Zone 1 would be interesting to do.
Okay. So you'd go Pynchon.
Yeah,
Americans love Pynchon.
Well, that's the
one
thing.
Would expect.
They've made at least one movie out of a Pynchon.
What did they make?
Inherent Vice with Joaquin Phoenix.
Okay. Well, he's good.
Yep.
So you're going to make The Crying of Lot 49?
Well, because the nice thing about it is that it's also you can do it as kind of a quasi mystery, and that way you get people into the theater because they like mystery movies, and then you throw the postmodernism at them. But
Yeah, that's going to work for literally 2 days, and then nobody will go see the movie.
If I made that movie, I would absolutely still set it in the 60s like it's set. Would that be a period piece? Because then that's going to be my favorite period piece, the hypothetical movie I would make.
That is
We'll give it to you.
perfect answer.
Take it.
Yeah.
Thank
Can
you.
I make this entire show?
So yeah,
about myself?
I think Crying of Lot 49 could be an interesting one to do. So I'd probably go with since I can't do White Noise.
I think you could do White Noise.
No, it's not. It's too soon, and I don't know.
You wouldn't want to show up Noah Baumbach with your debut directorial effort being that good.
Exactly.
It would be dispiriting.
I'd rather
to the Scorseses of the world.
I'd
They'd
rather
be like, what have I been doing?
I'd rather do that with like a separate project that no one's done. Yeah, like Crying of Lot 49.
Good. That sounds fair. So my book project initially when I first got here was that somebody should take my book from concentration camp.
Oh, right. I was saying, is that what I thought? Yes.
And turn it. There has never been a good fictional film about Japanese American mass incarceration.
Not Snow Falling on Cedars?
Indeed not.
I'm just setting you up for that one.
Yes, unless you like your Japanese American films to be about a white guy.
Setting you up for that one.
I appreciate that.
Here you go. Here's the platter.
So I think I appreciate that. I feel like obviously not my book, but the themes of my book, like following a college student through the various aspects, I think would make for a really dramatic story.
Yeah.
Zach, when I first got on Twitter, a student encouraged me to do it so that I could stalk George Clooney. My idea was...
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
He had just made Good Night and Good Luck, and he was like obviously moving into his political phase. And I'm like, okay, this is actually a film that like a political activist like Clooney would like to make.
Yeah.
So I started tweeting at George Clooney every day until I realized he didn't actually have a Twitter account. So I stalked Clooney on Twitter.
You stalked a Clooney on Twitter.
I didn't know how to like put @ or hashtags, so it's just I would just like, hey George, like
okay,
day 54.
So you
still
ineffectively
no
stalked.
So you didn't even do it right.
Yeah,
well, eventually I tried to @ Stacy Keibler, I think, when they were still dating, but that did not help.
Good choice.
Didn't turn around. So that would be one that I wouldn't want to make it. I'd like to give it to somebody that would.
Well, you just want to cash the
exactly.
The,
I want the story told. I think it's a great story that's never been told. I'll take the money, but I'm doing
listeners
it for the
can't
right
see,
reasons.
but I'm doing the finger money thing.
I'll take the money, but I'd want to do it for the right reasons. So.
Very noble of
If I had to adapt something like Patrick's talking about, I was thinking about this the other day when I was teaching the enormous radio.
Ooh.
I think the enormous radio could be turned into a really tight, like 85, 90-minute movie.
And you do like your tight 85
minute
movies.
Like I don't want a 4-hour adaptation. But I think
you want the enormous radio.
Right. I think Jim and Irene Westcott are really interesting characters. I think there's a lot you could do with it. It would have a little magical realism for a certain kind. Exactly.
Who doesn't love the magical realism?
That'll bring the teenagers in.
Everybody's favorite.
Another yeah. So I think that's what I would like to do.
Yeah.
And I think Irene should be Florence Pugh. I think she would be a very good.
She'd be a good. Yeah.
I think she'd be a very. good
Florence Pugh is generally just good.
Well, that's the thing. So. If no matter what I shoot, I want to have her in it because I think it's going to be good.
She could be busy playing Oedipa Moss in my Crying of Lot 49 adaptation.
Well, we'll see which one she signs on for.
I mean, your 85-minute tiny thing or my 2.5-hour extravaganza.
Exactly, like run of the mill, like what everybody does, or a good, smart, independent art film. Yeah, I think I'm going to win.
I don't think so.
Depends on
but
which
there's
one's
lots
more
of
explosions.
Florence. Explosions.
No, there's no explosions.
But I don't know who Jim would be. Like, I'd need to think about Jim. Actually, Jim Halpert.
I was going to say John
Krasinski.
Krasinski. The actor's name is John Krasinski.
I know. But he is a Jim, so that's what I was trying to play it on.
I mean, that's the. I mean, if you're going to get him, you know who you really should get to play Irene. It's Emily Blunt.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe they've done too much together.
Just the Quiet Places.
Yeah, but they're always together now. So I would not object to casting Emily Blunt, but I think I would go Florence Pugh first.
Okay.
Maybe you want Emily Blunt for your film.
She'd be good.
Yeah,
she'd be good.
Yeah.
I mean, again, she's good in most things she does. But yeah, I would probably.
So anyway, I feel like the enormous radio would be could be turned into a really interesting story that I think would still resonate today. Like many of the themes and the anxieties that Cheever's playing with in that film are very much still the themes and anxieties that beset us today.
Yeah.
So why not?
Yeah.
That or Young Goodman Brown.
Oh, that's a classic.
Yeah. Anything Hawthorne, I think you could do.
Very adaptable.
Yeah.
Young Goodman Brown is, that's very adaptable.
That would be a fun one. Again, more magical realism. I feel like I'm pitching movies for you.
Well, I mean, I am part of your target audience, so
It's true. It's true.
Alrighty. Another one here.
Yes.
If you could have a meal or spend a day with any fictional character, who would it be and why?
A fictional character?
Fictional character.
Wow. There's so many to pick from. Like, it's a challenging...
You could do almost any activity you spend in a whole day or just a meal, whatever you want.
Day, a meal? You'd pick a superhero, right? I assume.
yeah, I'd pick Hawkeye.
You'd sit down with Hawkeye?
Saw that coming a mile away.
Yeah,
Like, you'd get, like, shish kebab?
Or I could do.
Get
I
some
could also
shawarma.
do. I could also go do Black Panther. Hang out with T'Challa.
Really?
Yeah.
Of all the superheroes, that's who you'd pick?
I do like T'Challa. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Or Nightwing.
It feels like Nightwing would be who you... It feels like... Yeah.
There's a lot there.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know that I'd pick a superhero.
Shocking.
But I don't know who I would pick.
Not the Flash.
No. Could I berate him for an hour at lunch?
I could. I mean,
Worst. Gosh, that's a really good question. That feels like a Hope question, though. No? It's a Zach question?
It is.
All right, it can't be an Ed question.
No.
It feels much too sweet. Gosh, who would I? Ooh. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say the guy from The Things They Carried.
The what?
You do love The Things They Carried.
Oh, Tim O'Brien would be a great.
He's not a fictional character. He's an actual person.
But he is fictional in the book. Like, how does that, like, because he kind of says, like, it's not real. So, is that a loophole?
Well, you could meet with the
Loophole that
fictional
would-
one, not the
It
real
would
one.
get me in? Yeah. Yeah, if I want that or not.
What about someone from Doctor Strangelove? You do love Doctor
Well,
Strangelove?
Slim Pickens would be fun.
Yeah.
Would be fun. As would Peter Sellers.
There you go. Peter Sellers, actual person.
Sorry. So, well, he plays Dr. Strangelove. So, like, I feel like I'd be meeting the actor. That's the problem. So, like, you know who I'd like to meet is Jim Casey.
From...
The Grapes of Wrath?
Oh, okay. Casey?
Yeah, Preacher Jim.
Oh, he's the preacher. Okay.
Yeah.
He's
I don't need Jode.
Yeah, I was like,
Tom Jode's not the guy.
You don't need a Jode?
But I'd really be interested to speak to Casey over a nice vegan lunch about his kind of theology.
Poor man just traveled across the Oklahoma Dust Bowl, and you're giving him a vegan lunch. That poor.
So you're saying
man.
literally the Okies would rather not eat than have to eat fruits and vegetables and beans.
Possibly, yes. Wow. Or just after that long of a travail.
Yeah.
To meet them with, here's your veggies and beans.
Here's a tofu burger.
Yeah, here's your
It's on
impossible
a
burger.
gluten-free bun.
With non-GMO mayonnaise.
Oh my gosh.
It's so good.
But Jim Casey would be cool. That'd be fun.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to meet a gangster from film.
Nah.
You know, as you kind of like work your way through that. Bonnie and Clyde? Probably not. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jim Casey.
Sounds good.
Ed's gonna love that. I'm pitching it to Ed because we're talking religion.
Ah,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
I'll ask him about the Filioque. It's gonna be great.
You're going to be the Philly what now?
Now Ed's never gonna listen again. How dare you, sir?
Alrighty. Next one we got here is worst film you have ever saw.
Oh,
Wow.
boy.
Pride and Prejudice. I'm going to put that out there.
No.
Oh, Zach.
Man, Hope is not going to listen to the show anymore.
Hope is, She's like,
Hope is a very
I'm kidding.
kind
There's
person and
there's
a
so
very
much
good
worse than
person.
that. There's so much worse
right,
than
okay.
that.
So
No, she's a good person. She's not always kind. She's got a sharpness to her.
Hope?
Yes.
Maybe you feel it a little bit more than other people
Well,
do.
possibly.
Yeah. Worst movie. So, I mean, I don't want to pick on superheroes, but Suicide Squad.
Oh, the first one?
That was a bad. Oh, you know what's worse than that though?
Shazam! Fury of the Gods.
No, not even close. I'm going to defend Zach on that one.
Okay.
The Leonardo DiCaprio, Great Gatsby.
Oh, really?
I always describe it to students because it's got Tobey Maguire in it.
Yes, it does.
It's got like a lot of narrative, like diary, voiceover kind of stuff. I always tell students when I show them a clip. So, like, this is how not to remember the 1920s. It's as if, like, when you watch that movie, this is what it seems like happened. Hollywood executives went to a bunch of 7th graders, and they said, we're going to give you some high-end equipment. We want you to remake The Great Gatsby, but you have to make it look like an MTV video.
Well, yeah.
And here, on the side, is a wheelbarrow full of cocaine, and we just want you to like ingest fistfuls of cocaine and then make a movie. It is a terrible movie.
Okay.
It is a terrible.
Isn't it also like 3 hours long? It's a really long movie.
I can't. Well, you know how I feel about that kind
I
of.
know.
So it's like that's a bad movie.
Yeah.
Now, Hope made me watch Starstruck recently.
Okay.
That is a really bad movie.
I don't even know what that is.
Zach, do you want to
For
fill
what?
in on Starstruck?
Starstruck. Okay, so that one is about this like pop star dude who
It's a switch for Disney. It's about a pop star dude.
About a
Oh,
pop
it's a
star
Disney.
guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Who then
that's all.
ends up like falling for this one girl who's just like from like this
Wow,
high
Disney
school.
really pushing
Yeah,
outside of the
it's-
box.
But
on
she
this
doesn't
one.
care about
She
him.
doesn't care
'cause
about
she's
him.
down to earth, and
It's an enemies to lovers type thing,
Yes.
and then
Oh,
it's
yeah,
just-
really?
Hope loves the enemies to lovers stuff.
Does she? Okay.
Yeah, it's a terrible movie.
Okay.
The plot makes no sense. It's so contrived. It's not well acted.
Okay.
It's really bad.
Okay.
But I'll put, instead of like throwing them on the heap, I'll put Leonardo DiCaprio's Great Gatsby.
Okay.
There's this one movie. I'm trying to look it up. It was so bad. It was the worst movie I've ever seen, and it was a horror movie, and it was set in like Lake George. And it was about this guy who was pretty much just like he was like a human version of like a lamprey.
Oh, see,
It was bad.
there's a
It was
lot like
bad.
those. Like Aquaman's terrible, but like it's terrible in such funny ways
Yeah.
that I wouldn't put it like.
Remember
as the worst.
MacGruber?
Oh, MacGruber.
That's sort of my
Okay,
benchmark
was-
for like really
that
terrible
was,
movies.
MacGruber was
MacGruber
awful.
was bad. Like
it
that's
was,
sort of my benchmark for like.
It was
sub MacGruber.
Okay, that was actually god awful. Like,
Yeah,
that's a pretty
that was
that's
terrible.
That's a pretty good call.
terrible movie.
Yeah,
So
the Beowulf movie with Angelina Jolie.
I don't think I saw that one.
Not a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what else is not a good movie?
What's that?
Transformers: The Last Night. That was
Okay,
terrible.
now you've gone too far.
That was
Too
terrible.
far, sir.
That was terrible.
No, Michael Bay.
I think my favorite moment is when Optimus Prime, flies over on like a dinosaur to the other Autobots and says, "We're gonna fight them together. I will never leave you again," and then flies off.
Well, that's Michael Bay making commentaries on the elite and the way they pretend to lead but don't show up.
I think it's just Robot Man Go Vroom.
Yeah, yes. I think Zach is closer to.
But
truth.
he's using the
It's Robot
the
Man
Go Vroom.
on Dragon Go Vroom.
No. He's using the Go Vroom to critique
Yeah.
something about the leadership class in
That movie was
society.
terrible. Also, the Baywatch movie was not good.
Yeah, but it's not. It's the Suicide Squad's worse than that. That Suicide by the time what's her name is like doing the shimmy. That's a bad movie.
The Suicide Squad is a bad movie.
That's a flat out bad movie. Oscar winning
Yeah,
bad movie.
that's bad.
Yeah. But MacGruber's actually a really good
Yeah,
call.
MacGruber,
Like that
like,
was
that's
that's
still-
one of the movies I
I have a
left, and
hard
was
time
just like,
thinking of a movie that I've watched that's worse than MacGruber.
yeah. Well, have you seen Starstruck?
I have not.
Okay.
It's a good movie.
It is a terrible
It's
movie.
good.
Ooh,
It's
it
a
feels like I
Disney
should watch it
movie.
just to settle a debate.
You should.
It's an okay movie.
Okay, now just okay.
Yeah, right.
It went from it's
Yes.
a great movie, it's a terrible movie
Yeah.
to it's an okay movie.
It's an okay movie.
I
It's a
feel like
terrible
that's not
movie.
near.
It's,
That
all right,
feels
it's
like
very nostalgic for me, so it's got
Okay.
that nostalgia appeal. So it's a
So-
good movie for me. It's an okay
you
movie. in
can't
the
let
rest of the world.
nostalgia guide the things you like, Zach. Okay.
Wait, where's the hypocrisy button?
You have to.
Where's the
you have to
hypocrite button?
approach each film as its own unique thing. You can't be like, I like this because it makes me feel happy and it reminds me of things. That's just not how someone watches a film.
See, the thing is, so when Hope was home, we watched a couple movies like that. We also watched Camp Rock 2, The Final Jam. I really enjoy Camp Rock 2. It's not a good movie, but it does have the nostalgia because Hope and I would watch that when she was a kid. But we didn't watch Starstruck together.
Okay.
Starstruck garbage.
It's a good movie.
It's there's
High
not,
School Musical also banger. It's a great movie.
High School Musical 3
There's
is
any of them.
is the
Pick
banger.
one.
I think
Good.
I've only watched the first one.
The first one's good.
Yeah.
I think 3 really reaches a new
That's
level.
the summer, right? Is that which one was the summer?
No, that's where they go off to college at the end. Which is the one where you got to get your head in the game.
I think that might have been number 1.
Can you never do that again?
Get your head in the game.
Can you do that at the start of every show now?
yeah. Yeah, can you please never do that again?
We should do a remake of High School Musical 3. Put it on in Le Monde.
Oh, God.
Oh, that would be something else.
Yeah, talk to whoever the new program director for theater is.
I'll be Troy Bolton. You be the sidekick.
You don't know his name?
Corbin Blue.
Chad.
Chad.
You're so close.
Well, that's the actor's name that plays Chad.
Okay.
All right, one other fun one that we have here. Why won't you let me on the show?
Oh, that's
Everybody is welcome.
Hope. Is that Hope?
All are welcome. No, it's Ed.
It's
That's
Ed.
an Ed.
Oh, Because you live in New Jersey?
Yeah, I have invited Ed before, and Ed said that it's too long a drive.
Yeah, he lives in New Jersey.
Yeah. Ed is always welcome. We'd be happy to have him on.
Exactly.
The door is always open to Ed.
Yep. We'll have him on to talk Abbott Elementary Season 2.
That's right. Or, what else could we talk? Oh, representation. Like, there's a lot of things we could talk about.
Oh, yeah.
We could do. What if we did a show on anti-imperialism? Brought Ed in for that one.
Yeah.
Or the monarchy.
We could just bring him in to talk about Ant-Man Quantumania.
I think that one broke him. Of all the ones that broke him, when you started talking about the politics of Ant-Man Quantumania.
There was a completely legitimate point.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm just saying I think it broke him.
Yeah, so.
All right. So, Ed, always welcome.
Yes, Ed always welcome.
Yeah.
Hope's always welcome, though.
It's true.
Consistently turns us down. Hurtful.
Yeah, it's been a tough run lately, but
Maybe, is she traveling abroad this summer, or is she?
No, but maybe this summer we could bring her in. I don't know who else would we invite. Bobby's welcome. Vicky could come.
Yeah,
if she wanted. We need to get the student critics in. But this is
that's
hard
right.
To schedule.
Yeah.
Figure that one out.
Yep.
Yeah, but we're not nudging Ed, right?
No.
Nope.
Ed is always welcome to come.
That's right.
Next time he's in town.
Don't pull a Stevens when you get here.
I mean, as close as he gets is generally when he comes to Philly for the Union games.
Every once in a while I'll come to a wedding up at Rodano's or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's been a while.
Rodano's, isn't that the restaurant?
I feel like that's where they gathered for the dinner night.
Oh, okay. I was saying I don't
think the wedding was actually in Rodano's.
Okay, that's why I was confused. I'm like, who had the wedding at Rodano's? Yeah. I do like Rodano's food though. So.
I do like the idea of a wedding on the square though.
Depends.
Yeah. Gotcha. All right.
Yep.
On we go. Ed,
right.
Ed is welcome, though.
All righty. What is a film that everybody loved, but you really hated?
Well, have any of the recent superheroes been loved by everybody?
I
do feel like I've had more hate for them.
Yeah, but I'm not sure I would say they've been universally loved, though. Maybe Wakanda. I think Wakanda Forever. Like people seem to really like that. So we were both not big fans.
I was not a big fan of that movie. So that's
that's probably the closest of the recent superhero films that people have.
You know, I once watched Citizen Kane.
Oh, by H.G. Wells.
Yes, exactly. Famous H.G. Wells, and that's a deep
dive.
I can also expand it to shows as well. If movies is too difficult, you can do.
I just like Citizen Kane is like widely seen as like this.
It was the American Film Institute's greatest movie of all time.
I think I might have slipped in the Sight and Sound most recent one, but like it's still like people consider it great. I didn't get it on television. The Mandalorian season 1. I don't understand why anybody found that entertaining. From the very moment when you know the story, where he spends half of the episode training the horse-like beast because nobody can walk across the great expanse, rides the beast across the great expanse, shoots everybody, including his horse, and then walks back. I'm done.
He shoots his horse.
But the horse can't come back for some reason.
It was like found its herd or something.
Right.
And
then he just walks back. I'm like, I am done with you, sir.
Yeah.
And then the final episode of season 1 where he takes the helmet off and like we're all waiting for like the helmet to come off. It's like it's this really exciting moment because I guess Mandalorians never take off their hats or whatever.
A certain faction of Mandalorians never take their helmets off.
Thank you. So anyway, it was
prior to the show. Most Mandalorians you would see take their helmets off.
Okay, so I didn't even know that. That makes it even stupider. But that battle and like they're kind of like they're trapped in a little room somewhere. And they totally contrive the trapping so they can take the helmet off. It was a terrible show. I don't understand why anybody liked it, and I never will. The Mandalorian is the easy answer for me.
I liked the first season.
I know you did. That's why my answer is a good one, though, right? Because everybody liked the first season.
No, you're right. Yeah, third season.
I did not.
The problem is they're steering very deeply into like the Mandalorian lore from the Clone Wars show. Which, having watched the Clone Wars show over last summer, I did not find the Mandalorian stuff at all compelling, and even the most recent episode, because the finale's this week.
Do you think it's possible that you're just beginning to realize that the Mandalorian was never any good?
No, I still like the first season.
Are you sure? Though?
I think the first season is solid.
Maybe you want to go back and give it a look.
Not possibly. Well, I mean, I watched it like 3 times. I'm pretty sure I would have caught onto it one of those times.
I would have hoped so. So, was there one that people love that you hate?
People love that I hate?
Yeah.
Trying to think of something that I hated that people loved. I mean, the people seem to like the Dungeons and Dragons movie. I did not care for that.
That's true.
I mean, Wakanda Forever. People seem to love that. I was not a big fan of Wakanda Forever.
Yeah. That's true. You were pretty down on.
Yeah,
D&D.
we both were on. Yeah, so I'm not. Neither of those are big ones.
Anything on TV? Like anything that people have loved on like streaming that they've been binging? Like did people love Moon Knight? Because I thought Moon Knight was not good.
People did love.
Yeah,
Moon
people
Knight.
did love Moon Knight.
So Moon Knight would be on that list for me too.
Moon Knight was not great.
I liked it.
Yeah, I didn't care
I thought
for
it was
it.
pretty good.
Yeah, no,
Moon
they
Knight.
steered way too quickly into the Egyptian stuff.
They shot half of it in a black room. It was garbage.
That's fair.
Yeah, he doesn't like things that are dark.
Or cute.
Yeah, and don't get him started on cute dark things.
So Wednesday Addams is out.
Yes.
I need to watch that.
Yes,
I've not seen it yet. So
It was okay.
I liked it a lot. I thought it was really.
I enjoyed it. I don't know that it's necessarily brilliant in the way
right.
people said it was, but it was. I enjoyed it.
I thought it was better than any Addams Family adaptation.
Okay, that's ridiculous.
Well,
that they.
I was
Come
going to say, are there
on.
any good Addams Family
yeah,
adaptations?
there's the ones from the '90s, the Raul Julia.
I'm not a big fan of those.
Really?
Yeah,
oh,
not
those
even-
were good.
Not
No.
that good.
No, the first one's really good. The second one not so great, but the first one's good.
No.
First one
No,
is
thank
good.
you.
So yeah, no, I
thank
can't.
you,
I
sir.
can't think. I mean, I was a little bit harsh on La La Land, which people loved.
You were really harsh on La La Land.
It's just not a musical.
It's very. I will. Okay.
It's not it's a film with music.
movie with music.
Yeah, I can't really think of
It's a
something
movie with
that
music,
lots of
Bert.
people have liked, besides the ones we've already mentioned. I can't really think of something.
And Hawkeye is not a show about a superhero.
Hawkeye is excellent.
It's about LARPers, which
about
I thought
LARPers.
really kind of redeemed it a little bit.
It's not about
Yeah.
LARPers.
Because
LARPers do play a significant role in it. That is
right.
true, but
and
it's not
Hawkeye
about
is
it.
kind of a LARPer.
Which is
like
a
it's
question
kind of
that
like
Ed
he's a
had.
professional LARPer.
Ed had a question about LARPers?
He asked, "Why do you not say that you're a LARPer?"
Because I'm not.
Nobody believes that. Nobody
I
believes that.
do
You
not-
you've never been in a
I
park
have-
with a big Nerf bat.
No.
Chasing like other people with
I
big
have
Nerf
never.
bats and
I
acting
have
like somebody
never.
had chopped off your
I
leg.
can say that I have never done that. I have never LARPed.
Well, you know, your disdain for Dungeons and Dragons would suggest that you were
See?
not a LARPer.
Exactly. Thank
per
you.
se. But I
Thank
still
you.
feel like you LARPed at some point.
I never LARPed.
You must have had a lot of friends who are LARPers living out
No.
on the left coast.
Didn't have friends.
Oh, there you go.
And most of my friends were theater people.
That's a-
Most of my friends were theater people.
Oh, and theater people would never dress
never
up and do things
LARPers.
like that.
Yeah.
Well, we
no,
don't-
sir.
we
no,
don't-
sir. They would not.
We don't LARP.
They have
we
lines.
They have
morals.
It's standards.
We are not LARPers. We are thespians.
Yeah, but there's a thin line. Like
No.
LARPing is like
No.
improv for thespians.
No, LARPing
Yeah.
is like thespians outdoors.
LARPing is.
You never did an
acting.
outdoor show?
No.
You did a show at the VFW where you were dressed up like General Holiday, riding that horse, dancing on that table.
It was a Meyer and Frank.
I can't remember where it was, but it was inside.
VFW.
But
We
outside
also
theater,
did play to
you know?
retirement homes as well.
LARPers, I think, are like theater kids that just also have a history major.
I like it. I like it.
I don't have an history major.
I had a history class once LARP a little bit. They
See?
loved it. They
Is that
loved
the
it.
zombie class? The one that I took the picture of? The one you had to do zombie stuff?
I can't remember.
Were they doing zombie stuff?
When they were LARPing?
Yeah.
I can't
Out in the
remember.
amphitheater.
Yeah, there's the amphitheater.
Yeah, wasn't there something involving zombies?
They might have tried to get back in the game.
Yeah, something like that.
I have a different kind of. I have like a Dead Poet Society kind of teaching vibe. You never know what's going to happen. People standing on desks.
Yeah.
You know what a student? Did I tell you what a student told me? I said I'm going to be a life coach, and she said I shouldn't because I have bad vibes.
You did tell me that, yes.
Wow.
You did
Yeah,
mention
right?
that the other day.
Just straight up bad vibes.
It's a
Bad
class that
vibes.
makes fun of how I
Wow.
dress. And they
Another
think I have bad vibes.
student asked her his credentials.
Life coaches don't need credentials. That's the whole point. Life coaching. I feel like I'm coaching them every day. They just don't know it. It's a very gentle coaching. Subtle.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Dead Poet Society.
Oh my god.
Yes, thank you. That
I
was-
got the reference.
Yeah, it was either that or referencing the one student's suicide at the end. See, I went with the better
leaves
option.
the note.
Maybe I don't want to be a life coach.
Yeah, yeah, I was like,
And maybe
There's more
not.
pressure on that than
you
I
know,
want.
there's, you know,
Alrighty, last question we got for you guys.
This is the last
the
question.
last one. We went through all 50
one.
questions?
No. Just,
Oh, okay, just
we're
for today.
at, like,
Okay.
we're at an hour and 10.
Cool. All right,
almost,
last
so-
one.
Yeah, all right.
Last one for this one.
Bring it on home.
What is your favorite idea for an episode or an episode you are looking forward to the most?
For this show?
For this show. Of any idea that you have that you want to do, any movie or show that you can't wait for that episode to come up so you can talk about it.
If
Or
Patrick
rip it to
wants it,
shreds.
it's going to happen, right? So if Patrick's just
that's
laying
true.
out what we're going to do.
I don't think that's true. I just point out when stuff is coming out. I mean,
All right. Gosh, I could do a show on anything.
Anything.
Anything. Mm-hmm. I don't know. What would you do, Patrick?
Oh well, I mean, it would be the upcoming Avengers movies, Kang Dynasty, whatever the next one is.
Seriously, that's what you're most looking forward to.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm most looking forward to.
I don't know. It's got me thinking. Like it would be fun. It would be fun to do a musical kind of thing.
You mean like a show on a musical or a musical version of our show?
No, just if we did like a
even more mashed up musical.
The musical just for one episode.
You just have to sing every line.
Yeah, exactly.
We got started on Les Mis.
Well, no, I mean, are we doing a musical or are we doing a podcast with music? Because those are two very different things.
Right, exactly. No, I think we should do an all sung version. I think it'd be fun to do classic movies.
It would have been great to do Les Miserables. It would have been a good show. It was good stuff.
Empty swings and empty cages.
Yeah.
It's classic.
There's a monkey in the tree.
There's a monkey in the tree. I like to feed him bananas.
No. It was very much based on the plot because like the monkeys were watching, were spying on them or something. Yeah. I think I actually wrote that song.
The one I was working on was Empty Chairs and Empty Tables.
Do you hear the monkeys sing? Singing the songs of angry apes.
That's good. That's
it was coming.
It was
Hope was going to sing for us.
Yeah, but she was going to do Monkey in the Tree.
I think what happened
Monkey in the Clouds or whatever it was.
We did that Krampus.
Oh yeah, that was not a musical though.
The Krampus play. Yeah, but you got pretty bitter. You took some criticism for that one.
Well, that was back in the radio show days. That wasn't a podcast.
No, Krampus was in the. I remember shooting it over in the big TV studio.
Really? Because I remember shooting that here.
Krampus? No.
Because we had everyone like right along this side of the table.
No, we had them all over there.
No, it was over here.
Incorrect.
You're incorrect.
Well, I guess we'll never know. I
guess.
So, gosh, what could we do? So I had suggested Titanic.
Oh yeah,
I'd like the idea of like throwback movies every once in a while. But every time I say like I saw Metropolis, you sneer and roll your eyes and say I watched Age of Ultron for the 18th time on TNT.
I didn't watch all of it. I just watch it while I'm like eating dinner or something.
Right, or ironing your jeans.
Yes, not my jeans, just clothes.
Yeah.
So
no, I mean, you know what I look forward to most? Mm-hmm. Round 2 of these questions.
There you go.
I feel like we've barely scratched the surface.
Oh yeah, feels like it.
Yeah. So until then.